Hey, once again, guys, to another video here on the 67 Mustang channel. So we're going to get started on something I've been talking about wanting to do for a while, and no, it's not the window regulator. Sorry, guys. I know that's been a requested thing, and I do want to do it. I'm just not ready to tear into the door, like I said in the last video, if y'all remember that. But we are going to get on some things here, and been doing a little things. You see the hood's up, so we'll talk about that too, and then we'll get into the main thing. So let's get into it, guys. Okay, so what have I been doing? Well, before I get into the main thing, I've been doing a little bit of cleanup, odds and ends of some things here. So first, in the last video, we put in that new exhaust gasket right down in over here. So I've been just going through making sure all the bolts for the manifold and the exhaust pipe and all that are tight. They, because I've been driving this thing some, so they can kind of work loose or whatever, just again, make sure everything that's still buttoned up good. I was still getting some exhaust smell in the car, and I'm not sure because a couple of these were loose. If that was, especially the flange of the exhaust pipe itself was not tight. So I don't know if that's where it's coming from, or if I still got some leak coming out of there, or it's possible there's a joint up under this, because this is a two-piece, well, technically three-piece exhaust pipe, right? You've got the piece that runs from the manifold back to right under the passenger compartment. There's a joint there, and then the other pipe goes back and then loops over the rear axle, then goes into the muffler, and then you have the muffler with its out pipe on that. So three pieces there. So it could be a possible leak coming through down there somewhere. But I did tighten all that up, so we're good there. The other thing I did was based on some a recommendation from some other folks about the fuel pump, saying maybe it was restricted and all that. So I did put in a new filter. If you can see it down there, you can get it in there. So yeah, new fuel filter right there. Went ahead and replaced that to see if that was there. And then while I was there, I cleaned up. I noticed some dirt and stuff on the engine, so cleaned up and painted the bolts for where the coil is. Got that done. So anyway, so there's a few little items I've been working on, just kind of cleaning things and buttoning things up from the last time. So apparently my wife walked in behind me. So now we'll get in and talk about what we're about to work on. Hi, dear. Hi, dear. Okay, guys. So for Christmas, I got a lot of stuff for Christmas for the car. One of the things that was something I've wanted to put on here, just because I think it looks cool, is this luggage rack. This, as you see here, it's just laying on there. But the luggage rack was a dealer installed option in '67. This car didn't have one of those. It did have the Sport Sprint option in there, which included a few things. And I mentioned this before, but like the chrome air breather there, what is that part called? Anyway, the molding down there below the door, whatever that's, rocker, is that the rocker? Yeah, rocker moldings. And there, it also included things like the vinyl wrapped shifter handle there. And again, I think that was also a dealer installed option. I don't know for sure, but those are some things that were included with the Sport Sprint that other cars, didn't have in there. But like I said, I like the luggage rack. I think it'll look cool back there. I think it already looks cool in there. So been working to get that installed, or been working through the process to get it installed. Because, well, when I looked at this and put it on my wish list, I shouldn't say ordered it, I was reading about this, and according to CJ, which is where it came from, CJ Pony Parts, they had instructions, and if you have a, pardon me, sorry about that, if you have a 65 or 66, they actually have a template you can lay on the trunk that has where the holes go and all that. Well, they don't do that for the 67, so I've got to figure out how to put it on there. So that's what I've been working on. So let's go take a look at that, shall we? Okay. Anyway, so, and notice this is not to scale. So that's important. Remember, I do mapping for a living and was also worked on survey crews because my dad was a licensed surveyor. So important to mention, it's not to scale. So what I've got here is this outer dimension here. This is the actual trunk lid, right? And then this inner thing is the luggage rack. So the total trunk width, length, I don't know. Anyway, across the back is 54.5 inches. Okay, I want to break in here real quick because I realized later that the width of that deck lid, that trunk, is different from where it's up near the back glass back towards the very rear of the car. It does change size. It's not consistent. It's like starts 56 inches at the top near the glass and then goes down to that 54.5 or so inches closer towards the back of the car. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to fit this in. It does vary, pretty obvious if you pay attention to it here. So anyway, I'm gonna get you back into the video now. The height or width going back, towards the front of the car is 26 inches. So that's the space I'm working with. Now the rack itself dimensions the center mounting point. The center mounting point is 47.5 or 47.5 inches. And then the width of it this way, again, center point to center point of those mounting is 17.25 or 17.25 inches. Okay. So that's the measurements I'm working with. Now to center this thing up, right, so half of the 54.5 is 27.25, half of 26 is 13. So right, that gives us our center point. And again, remember, not to scale here, guys. So that doesn't necessarily look like it's centered, but it is. So to put the rack centered in there, right, that's 23.75, which is half of 47.5. And then 8.625 is half of the 17.25, right? So that gets us centered up with the center of the trunk, right? So now I know with that, and this is a lot of math, that to center this thing up, to get this full width, right? Keep in mind that this is 23.75 across. So to center that up, I need to come over 3.5 inches from either side for the side to side, and then the up and down here to get it centered up coming from the this edge is about 4 3/8 inches this way. It's going to be kind of hard to get this exact because I'm going to have to come from the center, right? Because there's actually, let's go take a look at that. Walk back out to the car. Part of the problem is, if you can see it, and let me get this out of the way. Trying to pick it up without scratching the car too much. Okay, lay this back down here. Okay, there we go. So you can see here is that this is not a straight line. It curves up at the ends, right? So it's not a straight line, and because this, rounds down, it's hard to get a perfect measurement. So my measurements all approximate, but it gives me that. If it's not 100%, I mean, who's going to take a tape measure out here and make sure? As long as it looks, close, and I've got the T, and here's a good center point to kind of gauge things. But what I'm going to do is come out here and kind of lay this out with some painter's tape and make sure that, I've got it about right. We want to, well, as the saying goes, measure twice, cut once. I'm going to measure a bunch of times because this is an original trunk, and I don't want to drill a bunch of holes in it in the wrong places because that would be bad. That would be very, very bad. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that out on the trunk, and yeah, we'll get back at it. This should be fun. I think it's going to look good. Okay, guys, so we're back. It's been several weeks, months possibly, since I started working on getting this luggage rack on the car. As y'all know, if you watched past videos, I had issues with the Sniper EFI I had to deal with. Now the car's kind of got some smoke coming out of it that I'm going to have to figure out to deal with, but I figured, what the hell, I'm going to go ahead and get back on this luggage rack. So I don't remember what I was doing last time in the video, but I got stuff marked back out and we got the luggage rack positioned. So best I can tell, this is the approximate center of the trunk, which I may have marked out before. Right? And then we've got, this is the center spacing on the luggage rack, right? You got 3 on that side and 3 on this side, whatnot. So I've come down with that center figured out and figured out that this needs to be about, or at least this is what I'm using. It's about 5 inches from up here to here. Keep that down. And then 4 inches from here to here to get that. And then obviously get the same measurement over here to get it aligned with the trunk. And the center marks here. And now I've got the tape marks here for the back end. Now what I got to do, now that I know where this thing needs to sit, I think that looks pretty good. I got to figure out where those holes are going to be drilled through on, you know, where they come through on the inside of the trunk. So I got to open up the trunk next and see where that's coming through there. I will say this, the fastening hardware sucks, to just be honest with you. Right, so I've got this is all the stuff that came with it. And that screw, look, it's bent. It's bent all heckin' back on there. Well, is that, nope, that's not the washer. Then these little plastic washers here, I think they're I don't know, they're pretty cheap washers here, plastic washers there. So I did go out and get from Ace Hardware some rubber washers that I'll put in. So this will go over that, and then the rubber washer will be down on the car. I think that'll be good to help protect it. I also got some new screws that will hopefully be better on there. And if something messes up, I have a whole nother one over there since I ended up getting 2. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pop the trunk, see if I can figure out where those holes are going to be drilled through. And this is scary, drilling through an original deck lid. Well, I'm the one that wanted the luggage rack on there because I think it adds something to the car. A little pizzazz. Anyway, yep, let's get the trunk, well, let's get the luggage rack off, and then we'll open the trunk and try to figure out where that's going to come through, right? Shall we? Yep, let's do it. Okay, guys, I've got the trunk open, and I've got a big set of clamps. What I'm going to do is kind of put this on that hole and see under here, whoops, it slipped, about where that's coming through. Let's see if we can see that. So you can see on this other side where that's coming through, so that's, I think, okay. It's not quite long enough to get to here, but I think it's going to be about where that hole is right there. Not quite there. Just quick checking on this. Here looks like that should be okay. Should be coming up through there. And then kind of the same check there and there. Okay, so I think we're good with those holes where they are. That hole actually there, I think this is for light, trunk light, I think, which mine doesn't have. Okay, so I think I now know where those are. Now I'm going to get ready to go drill some holes here in a minute. Got to figure out which drill bit size I need, so we'll go figure that stuff out. And I'm spinning you around and getting you all dizzy. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Okay. Okay, think we're ready to drill our first hole. I'm going to start small and work my way up. No turning back now. Okay, first hole done. Okay, second hole done. Okay, I really want to check the measurements again on these back ones just to make sure I got those right. Okay, looks like I go center to center, 17.5. So from here to here. Okay, let's double check that, guys. Just look at that. All right, to there. Okay. And drill hole number 2 or 3. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna go up next size. Okay. Not quite. Did I not get this one? I don't remember. I did. Okay. And, oops. I put the Mustang keys. Here they are. Okay. Okay. Fits. Fits. And that one fits. Okay. Hopefully those work. Okay, now time to get the tape off. Now let's assemble, get the rack up here. So let me get pieces together and we'll get this mounted up. Okay guys, we're here yet again. I think I drilled holes. I was going to try to mount the luggage rack and I sort of got it on there, but then I was having problems with getting the last screw that was in here on the driver's side. It couldn't get in. I think it was too tight. So what I'm going to try to do now is I've disassembled the luggage rack and I'm going to try to put the frame on and then connect the lateral rods, I don't know what you want to call those, in there, and we're going to see how that goes. But she looked really good when I had it on there. So yeah, anyway, that was, I said, part of the issue was just trying to get this thing to fit with the screws and stuff. So I'm going to try, now that I have it apart, to get it mounted up there and see how that goes. Okay guys, there we go. We got her installed. It did take taking it apart to get it on there. I can probably loosen that up to some of that stuff up better. Anyway, but I think she looks pretty good on there. Kind of adds a little bit of pizzazz, bling, whatever, you know, whatever the youngsters are saying nowadays. Yeah, I just identified myself as an old fogey, but that's okay. I don't mind being an old fogey. I've earned all my gray hair the hard way. So yeah, I think that's good. So the trick here, yeah, was definitely to take the thing apart here and get the rails mounted on there. Not once I did that, it fit pretty good getting it on there. So I'm just going to shine her up a little bit, but yeah, the other thing, God, this has been a long process just because of timing and me going out of town and all of that good stuff, is that yeah, this probably would have been easier with more than one person. Definitely if you had a good paint job on the car, you would definitely want somebody here to help you to keep from scratching the paint. This thing slid around a lot on me trying to do it by myself, and yeah, I put some scratches, but luckily this isn't a pristine car, as y'all know if you've been watching the channel. But I said once I took the damn thing apart, pardon my French, again, former sailor and land surveyor, it went on so much easier doing it that way than trying to fit the whole thing together as one unit. Now, I said, in theory, if this had been a 65 or 6, they are supposed to have a template that you lay down. Now, I've talked to another friend of mine who goes to car shows with me, who put the same unit on his 65, and it didn't come with the template. So contrary to what CJ says on their website, there is no template, so you probably have the same kind of issues that I've had here getting it onto that model. But I think this looks good. Like I said, there you go. Good shots of that. You know, just something I've always liked these. I don't know why I like it. I do, but yeah. And again, the hardware that went to install this thing was garbage. I had to go get new hardware. By the way, this is the other fun part. The screws on this are metric. They are a M5 times 0.08 thread. I'm not familiar with metric sizes very much, so anyway, that's what I think it was. Double check that, but that's what I think it was when I got those hardware links, or got the right or new hardware that wasn't garbage, and put it on there. And so I put rubber, rubber washers under here and under here, even from the underside, to just try to help seal it up from any rain. And that was, again, a recommendation that I saw under the reviews from CJ's website from other people that installed it. But anyway, there we go, guys. She's looking good. Had her out for a drive. Yeah, it's the weekend after Christmas now. This started way back around Thanksgiving. Anyway, time frame, and it's freaking 70 degrees here in Georgia today. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the 20s. Gotta love the South in the winter. But yeah, I've driven her. She's been out and about. I actually took her to the auto parts store yesterday to get parts for my wife's Mustang, where I was trying to replace. She had a missing, center cap in actually it was the wheel up there. And in doing that, pulling the wheel off, I found that she also needed new brake pads. So yeah, took the 67 Stang up to get brake pads for the 2016 Mustang, which I thought was kind of fun. Anyway, with that, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you've had a wonderful holiday season so far, with whatever holiday you may or may not celebrate, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or something else out there. Hope it's going great, and I hope 2025 has been a good year. I know it's been a bit of a crazy year with things going on, but hopefully it's been a good year. And I really hope that 2026 is even better for all of y'all. I know I'm looking forward to the new year, still loving my new job, all the people I work with, and of course continuing to work on the old girl here. We still have plenty to do on her. You know, I keep trying to talk my wife into getting another car. You know, I still have that 63 or 64, I think 63 Corvair owner's manual. It went to my dad's car that he totaled before we got the Mustang. Can't have an owner's manual without a car. But anyway, that's Chevy though. I don't know how I would do with a Chevy in the mix here, but yeah, who knows. Anyway, with that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Yeah, that's looking pretty darn good. I like it. Yeah, let's get her shined up some, shall we?